And I just didn't really get that. I think that there's ways to play it where like, okay, we're here to work together. But inherently, in any job, when you work with people, like when the stakes are high and you work very closely together, inherently there is going to be some sort of bond that develops out of that. There's going to be some mistake that happens and somebody helps you.
Hey everyone, I'm Mario.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is Clued and Clueless. Woo! I think Kristen's one of my best friends. I'm a friend to Kristen, I think, but welcome back, Kristen. You know, I think we had a good discussion on our whole Longest Yard.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. What are you laughing at?
You're just laughing at. I wonder what episode was before this. Go ahead.
If you had to get 11 friends, like off the top of your head, could you do that?
To do what? Am I assembling a team?
Yeah.
A team to do what?
This
is an
just like an event,
question.
you know. If you had to do an event, you know, and you had to get 11 friends, like boom, like that, could you do it?
That would actually show up?
Yeah, that would actually show up.
I think so.
Who could you name?
Okay, you. Kat.
I'm already out. You're already lost. I'm not.
You're not showing up for me?
I'm sorry.
I don't want to do this podcast anymore.
Okay, so in saying that, well, could you think of these 11 friends, right?
Uh-huh.
Could they do a heist?
No.
They couldn't do a heist.
No,
oh,
I do not.
Wait.
Successfully
pull off a heist.
No,
wow.
I do not have 11 friends. I don't think I have 2 friends that could successfully pull off a heist.
I think I'm one of them. But
that could not.
We're going to be watching Ocean's 11 today.
Ooh, that's actually okay. I'm actually excited to see this one. I feel like there have been some. So, The Longest Yard. Right off the bat, I wasn't super excited to see it. Then you broke it down, and then I was kind of excited. But you said Ocean's 11, right? Because
yes.
There's been a couple of iterations. Okay, Ocean's 11, I am excited to see. I like these kind of movies. I'm excited.
Awesome. And it is the 2001 remake also.
Okay. Who's in this?
Who's in this? Wow. Jumping straight to it. Our cast, there is 11 people, actually.
Okay.
But the top 4 I just wrote down.
All 11 Oceans.
All 11 Oceans. George Clooney,
okay.
Brad Pitt,
oh.
Bernie Mac,
okay.
and Matt Damon.
Oh.
This is also like a very young Matt Damon.
Okay.
So I feel like he's done like Good Will Hunting at this point, obviously. But I feel he's still like not a giant star yet.
Okay,
I don't know if he's
still
done the Bourne.
career.
Yeah, I don't think he's done the Bourne movies
okay.
and like really kicking off as like Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Trying to sell you crypto.
Yeah. Of course. God, I hate when he's in my DMs.
There's also a really funny thing. I wonder if you're gonna pick up during this movie.
You're wondering if I can sense comedy?
Oh yeah, if you can sense comedy. But there's an ongoing like joke that happens, right?
Okay.
And I'm very curious if you see it.
Okay.
Man,
I wish women were funny.
Dude, I wish they were. Make this podcast a lot easier.
I can't stand you. Alright.
But yeah, let me gauge your opinion on this by reading you the back of the DVD cover.
Okay.
Or at least IMDb.
Yeah. You know, the modern day.
But dapper Danny Ocean, George Clooney, is a man of action. Less than 24 hours.
Oh, his name is actually Ocean.
Yeah, his name is Ocean.
Oh,
Ocean's 11 buddies.
Okay. See, I'm clueless. I don't know anything about this movie.
But less than 24 hours into his parole from a New Jersey penitentiary, the wry, charismatic thief is already rolling out his plan. Following 3 rules: don't hurt anyone, don't steal from anyone who doesn't deserve it, and play the game like you've got nothing to lose. Danny orchestrates the most sophisticated, elaborate casino heist in history.
Ooh. All right.
So what's your early opinions on this?
I love when a quote-unquote criminal has a code of conduct.
Yeah. Robin Hood.
Like Robin Hood, right? Because I think it starts to make you think, what is a criminal?
Mm-hmm.
Because how is that defined in society versus, like, morally? It's the whole, like, would you steal a loaf of bread for, you know what I mean? It's very Jean Valjean. So yeah, I think right off the bat, I'm excited. I like action movies. I like bank heist. I like anything that's like heist, spy, like anything adjacent in that like area, you know?
Yeah.
Love that stuff. I think I'm really gonna like this movie.
Yeah.
And I've seen What's the one with Sandra Bullock? Is it Ocean's 8 with all the women?
I've never seen it, so.
Okay.
They did make, Ocean's 8 was like an all-woman cast.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I've seen that one. Loved that one.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see what, I know it's a remake, but kind of what's the foundational blocks of that franchise, yeah.
And this is a remake of the, I want to say, maybe 70s also, Frank Sinatra, his like Rat Pack, him and his buddies, they did this whole idea already. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Anything else you want to add before we roll in and watch this movie?
No.
Okay, cool. Well, then let's start this whole Clued and Clueless episode up. We're going to go watch this movie, and we'll be right back with George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Bernie Mac, rest in peace, and Matt Damon, directed by Steven Soderbergh. Woo! Howdy, everyone. Welcome back. This is Clued and Clueless with Mario and Kristen, and we just finished watching Ocean's 11. Kristen, quick little first thoughts?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Quick first thoughts, I enjoyed it. That being said, I really felt like it lacked plot. But it's an action movie. So, like...
We'll get to that,
yeah. It's an action movie. But I did enjoy the movie overall. I will say that I have, like, less than a page worth of notes.
Unlike, The Longest Yard.
Unlike everything else.
Well, we could talk about prison reform and all that.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot to go off of here. It wasn't a lot.
Well, for our audience, do you think you'd give a quick recap of the movie?
Sure. So Mr. Ocean, Frank Ocean, did a heist. So basically he gets out of jail, like you said. He gets out of jail. He rounds up a group of like buddies or people that we at least know that he has crossed paths with
Were you
before.
a pigeon for a second?
That he's crossed paths with before, gets a ragtag group of guys together to rob a very wealthy man who owns like 3 of the very big casinos in Las Vegas on like what is arguably probably one of their most lucrative nights of the year. Mm-hmm. So yeah, gets the gang together, pulls a fast one on this guy, but it's really all because he wants to win his ex-wife back. Not really about the money.
For him, at least.
For him.
More about Julia
Got
Roberts.
a lot of thoughts.
You got a lot of thoughts? Okay, we'll get into those right after I talk about what
Maybe 3 thoughts about this movie.
Robert Ebert said about this movie.
Okay.
He gave it a thumbs up. He said, yeah. Totally go watch this movie. Mm-hmm. But in saying that, he compared this movie to like a top level pianist, just kind of making something different, not going to their typical classic route of playing, what you would hear at like an orchestra or something like that, right?
Okay.
It's just more like experimental, right?
Okay.
That's how he compared this director. He was like,
oh, the director?
Yeah, it's comparing it to the director of how he made the movie.
Okay.
It was like, it seemed like he just wanted to do something different.
For him?
Exactly.
Or different for
him.
Film?
For him.
Okay, I was going to say, that's kind of a big claim for this movie, but okay, for him.
No,
okay,
different for him. Okay. It was like, it seemed like he definitely just wanted to have some fun with it.
What else has that director done? Who directs it?
Steven Soderbergh.
With a V or PH?
V. I don't really know any of the movies that he directed before. They're all kind of in the crime genre. They're all also dramas.
He did Let Them All Talk with Meryl Streep. Oh. And Magic Mike's Last Dance. This man has range.
Isn't that the most recent one? The newest one?
That's 2023, yeah.
Yeah. I have my own opinions on those. Well, maybe
we'll
get
those
one day. All right.
But that's already shown. Oh, and he did... Okay, I'm going to just point out some well-known ones so that we have a general idea of what he's done before this. Mm-hmm. He did Let Them Talk 2020, Magic Mike's Last Dance 2023.
Well, that's
Original Magic Mike 2012. Well, that's true, but just still, I want to know for my brain.
Yeah,
Contagion. Don't silence me, Mario.
No,
Contagion 2011.
I would never.
Let's see. Ocean's 12 2004.
And 13. Did all the Oceans.
Ocean's 11. Excuse you. Ocean's 8 isn't on here.
Oh, you don't do that.
Once again, ignoring women.
Whoa.
Grey's Anatomy in 96. Okay, so before he did Ocean's 11, there was Sex, Lies, and Videotape in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
Kafka, 1991. King of the Hill, 1993. The Underneath, 95. Schizopolis, 96. Grey's Anatomy, 96. Out of Sight, 98. The Limey, 99. Aaron Brockovich in 2000. And Traffic, 2000.
Yeah.
So, I'm unfamiliar with pretty much all those titles.
I am also. But
based off of, like, their little photo, they look like they're all somewhat within, like, either action or, like you said, like, just kind of, like, mind movies.
And they definitely are. I did a quick check of all the movies, and they definitely play in the sense of dramas. Some of them are, like, sort of like period pieces, biographies, kind of. But he has worked with George Clooney and Julia Roberts before, and that's most likely why he pulled them both into this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Roger was definitely like, it's not what he's done before, and it seems like he just wanted to have fun making a movie. He just wanted to do something entirely different.
Yeah.
But he was like, but he should go back to what he's making.
That being said, never do it again.
Pretty much. But then he goes and does it again, and also does Logan Lucky, and like you said, Contagion. He's a very great director, honestly.
I feel like people liked the Ocean 11, too. I feel like people like the Ocean movies. I feel like I always hear them being talked about in a positive way.
Going to reviews, actually, on IMDb, got a 7.7 out of 10. Mm-hmm. And then on Rotten Tomatoes, an 83%.
That's pretty good.
So it's definitely not a bad
solid
movie.
Action movie.
Yeah. I wouldn't say action. Not a lot of action.
I guess, I don't know. I guess it's not action in the sense of, like, destruction, like fists, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, there wasn't much to the plot other than, like, watching the action of the movie, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
I totally get what you mean. And I forgot, maybe it was Roger who said this, but maybe it was someone else. But one thing that, like on my third rewatch now, well, like almost this week, there's not a lot of suspense.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of, like, are they going to do it? It's more of how cool they do it.
Yeah.
Everything's so suave.
Yeah.
They just kind of, like, they at the very beginning of the movie, they kind of lay out their entire plan. Yeah. And they ask him, they're like, so when we get the money, are we just going to walk out? He's like, yeah.
He's like, yep.
That's what we're going to do. That's the plan.
Yeah. You know what I would like to see? I was thinking about this. I would like to see, as a psychology major, as someone who loves psychology, I would like to see one of these, like, a heist movie, but I would like it to be where they are fooling the audience as well, if that makes sense. So I feel like the heist movies that I have seen, they're really good, and, like, a lot of the appreciation comes from, like, how suave they're doing it, and, like, you can see, like, oh, this is how they tricked them. But, like, instead of, like, seeing the sleight of hand in front of you where you're also, and, like, it could just be I haven't seen a lot of heist movies, but instead of where it's like you are seeing the sleight of hand, it's just you didn't catch it, you weren't fooled by it. It's a lot of, like, oh, their hands are here, their hands are off camera, and their hands are back, and you can see that they pulled something, and it's like, you know, okay, this is how they must have done that, but you don't see it. You didn't also experience being tricked by it. I would like more of that, where, like, if I go back and watch the movie, I can see you do it now that I know that I'm supposed to be looking for it. But, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? That's what I'd like to see.
Have you ever seen Inside Man?
No.
Okay, perfect.
Is that what that is?
You named a movie which I feel like you'd really enjoy.
Okay.
With the whole trying to...
I love that stuff.
There's quite a bit of good heist movies like that.
Okay.
I can't think of the name of the other one that I've seen. I know Logan Lucky's also...
What's the one that... Oh, what's that guy? Jesse Eisenberg is in? Where they're magicians. Is that the premise of that movie?
Kinda?
Is that what that is?
Kinda?
That has Woody Harrelson in it, right?
Yeah.
I want to see it just for Woody.
I think is Emma Stone also in that? I know it's James Franco.
I've given you the extent of my knowledge on that movie.
Okay, I've seen that also a couple times.
But I know they're like magicians, so maybe that has the sleight of hand in it that I'm looking for.
Michael Caine in it too.
Oh yeah, it does. That I did know. That's like, I wish I could remember what the name of the program was. was it called now? No. There was something, it was a TV show that used to be on when I was in high school, and I ate it up because I was taking my AP Psych class and I was falling in love with psychology for the first time. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just looking.
Looking
at you.
But anyway, I whatever it was called, the whole premise of the show was it was teaching you psych concepts, but it was doing so in a fun way by like tricking you. So they would like ask you to like, they were like, oh, count the number of times that the basketball goes to the basketball hoop, and they'd do that. And then at the end, they were like, okay, how many times? But did you see the chicken in the background? And it was like you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that show?
I have. Well, not the show, but I've seen like a clip.
Okay.
I think it's literally like a monkey
it's
walks
got to
through.
be that show. Yes, exactly. And the whole thing is like redirecting your attention. And I ate that stuff up because it's like going to see a magic show. You like being tricked and something happening right in front of your eyes, and like, you got me.
Yeah.
So I want more of that in movies.
Yeah, this definitely isn't that heist movie.
No,
this is more of like, we're literally showing you everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
And just like, look how cool it is. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the whole, like, I think George Clooney got a little bit like a flack during this movie because they're like, well, George Clooney isn't as like suave and cool as Frank Sinatra.
Oh no, but I mean that's unfair to hold. You know what I mean? But George
they
Clooney did a really good job.
Movie.
Yeah, I think he did a really good job. But I think that also starts to play into like just generally what. I don't know, because you think about like Frank Sinatra and you also think about like James Bond movies and stuff. Like it's just kind of like the reality of like what we have set up for like a suave man in that way has kind of shifted a little bit, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's also something to just keep, because it's too high of a standard.
Don't do that.
Handsome kitty. Let him speak.
No, not allowed. He is not allowed.
And now our guest, Icarus.
But no, I think George Clooney did great. I think he played off the very, like, calm, cool, collected guy.
I think so, too.
Really, you know, just steal, you know, someone's girl.
Yeah, I think he did. Well, yeah. I think he did a great job. You know, there's apparently, the legend goes.
The legend?
George Clooney went to my grade school for first grade. And then that was it. That was the only year.
That was it.
But I like didn't know if that was like something that was just like floating around, right? If that was just a rumor. But so I ended up looking it up one time and I dug through the internet. Because like his first grade, like, come on, where's that? You know what? And when I was younger, I know I found one article that mentioned it, but I haven't been able to find it since. So I don't know if that's true or not. So George, because I know you're listening to our podcast, if you wouldn't mind giving me a quick text message when you're giving me when you're usually texting me, letting me know how your day was. If you could just also additionally let me know if you went to St. Michael's School when you were in first grade. Thank you. Oh, he's texting me now.
Also, George, if you can get us in contact with Julia Roberts. I know y'all just did a movie, Last Day in Paradise, Lost in Paradise, something like that. I gotta watch that movie. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it, but it's like it has rom-com vibes. I think I like it.
And that's why I went.
Okay.
But speaking of rom-com vibes,
yes.
Right? More the rom versus
More the
com. One line that I loved, and you're probably gonna think it's cheesy, but the whole when he asked her, "Does he make you laugh?" and she says, "He doesn't make me cry."
Yeah.
I've always really liked that line.
I like that line too. It was good. I liked that line. I just wish that we had more for it to stand on, because like there was just not a lot going on between those two characters. Like they didn't talk very much. We didn't see a lot of like their background. We don't know anything about their past. We don't know anything about their future.
Do they touch on Ocean's 8?
I am not at liberty to say. But so I wish that we had more there, because like I liked that conversation that they had. I just wish there was more surrounding it, because that was really the only conversation of substance that they had, and there wasn't like this much substance. You know,
I believe they touched on it more in Ocean's 12.
Oh, okay.
You get a little bit more of their backstory. I don't really know.
That's fine, but I haven't seen it, so this is all I have to go off of.
It is all you have to go off of. And I mentioned that there was one little quirk that happened throughout the movie. Did you notice it?
So wait. By quirk, what do you mean?
Just a little thing that just kept happening, like every time, like a scene would happen almost.
Wasn't those two guys like always being a different character?
That was funny. I do enjoy that. It wasn't that, but they are literally every single disguise. They're paramedics.
Something
they're
that
bellhops.
kept happening, and it was supposed to be funny, or is it like an
Easter
egg?
Yeah, a bit Easter egg, I would say.
I don't know.
It was Brad Pitt eating in every single scene almost.
Okay. Oh, I said that. Yeah. I said that during the movie. I said it's got to be this guy's always got something in his mouth. That guy always got something going on. You know what? And you know when I picked it up? It was when they, whatever scene it was, they cut to him and he had like a spoon in his mouth. Yeah. And I was like, why is this guy always, what's going on? There was always something there. Yeah. Okay. I caught that.
He was eating 14 times. Or drinking.
That's hard. Seriously, that's hard when you're on set. You need a spit bucket at that point. To be eating that much, to always have something in your mouth like that, that's...
He said the reason was because, they're in the middle of a heist, so they're constantly, go, go, go. Right. So it's like, you don't have time to sit down and eat. So it's like...
Yeah, but nobody else did that.
Well, he's a hungry guy.
I guess so.
He's doing all this planning.
He said, "Oh man, I ain't got time. I got to eat my Pedialyte lollipop.
gotta eat
my protein lollipop.
Gotta eat my cheeseburger.
It has like a full meal's worth of calories in it, and it's just a sucker.
That's why, yeah. It's why he's eating so much. He's only eating like suckers. Rusty's got to eat.
Hey, Casey Affleck is in this.
Yeah.
Who's Virgil Malloy?
The other brother. The one that's not the...
Oh, so you just had the guy the actor mixed up. Okay.
You know apparently of not Frank, but Scott Conn.
Yeah, his dad is I think James Caan. I don't know how to pronounce it. His dad is is Walter from Elf.
He also plays someone else, I believe. In another big movie.
His big role is Walter from Elf.
Surprisingly, I don't know about that.
But Scott Kane, I don't know. I'm so sorry. And that's really bad that I don't know, because his dad is actually a very talented performer. I mean, he is too, but his dad is in a lot of stuff. But he's in Hawaii Five-0. That's how I know him. He's Dano in Hawaii Five-0. Love him.
Is that the new Hawaii Five-0?
Yeah, the new one.
Okay.
Yeah. The new
I think
one.
I've seen trailers for it then.
That's me, my dad, and my sister watched that all through high school and stuff. We always watched Hawaii Five-0 together.
So I also asked at the beginning of the show if you can get 11 friends to do this heist. Now, theoretically, let's say you could.
Oh, you know what? I do want to think about that. What team would I assemble?
Yeah.
Okay.
And even if you can't think of 11 people, do you think to pull
this off, I have to.
You're the George Clooney in this scenario, right?
Okay, well, of course.
Would this go off, perfectly?
No. That being said.
How far do you get?
I think that I struggle to formulate a team. You're
not making it in the casino, that's what you're saying.
I could get into the casino. Yeah, well, but as a patron.
Yeah. As
a patron. And that's as far as I go, I think. What about you?
No, it's not happening.
What role do you think you would play in a heist?
Me personally, I definitely think I'd probably be the computer guy.
The computer guy?
Yeah,
why do you think that?
I don't really know.
All right, I appreciate your half-hearted answer.
I feel, I can't do disguises, so I couldn't be like the Brad Pitt, Maybe I could be like what the brothers were doing, the Malloy brothers. Kind of just putting things in places, acting like a goofball.
Okay. Let me tell you where I think you'd be.
Where?
I think you'd be at the computer. I think you'd be the computer.
I think you're overestimating. I think you're underestimating how good you are at computers and overestimating how good I am at computers.
Mario.
Yeah?
I talked to myself in the group chat for 3 days.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're just not very great at them.
So you think that I can lead us through a bank heist? I would literally be like, guys...
That's a story for another day.
Guys, right? I would literally be like, you guys, the computer screen turned off. What do I do? Guys, the computer guys. Guys, the computer's making a funny noise. I lost the tab. I don't know where it went.
You would definitely be, in this sense, if you're not going to be, oh my gosh, Mr. Danny Ocean, sorry.
Yeah.
You would be Saul.
So I think so.
Yeah.
I think I would either be Saul. I think that me as a human, I'm Saul.
Yeah.
I think that in a heist, I would either be Saul or I would be the person whose job it is to just hold their breath for 30 minutes and be folded up in a little box.
I don't think you do flips like that.
Oh my god. I'm not going to rob a bank.
You know what? This weekend's plans size, off.
But...
Weekend's plan.
Off. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Well... Let's cut that from the recording. So we don't want them knowing our plan.
Okay, start again here. Cut and start again here.
But I don't know. It's definitely a fun movie. I mean, the reason I chose it was I would feel this is one of the more, like, adult movies I saw. Like, one of the first, like, adult movies. That wasn't, like, a horror movie or anything like that.
I see what you mean.
But more of, like, you're sitting down and watching, like, an actual, like, film.
A movie that's not tailored towards kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, or teenagers. Yeah, I got you.
Because even though this is rated as, like, PG-13, no one's, like, not guns and blazing all the place or anyone's getting, like, hurt. No. But it's definitely something that's, like, you have to, like, sit down and...
Yeah, you have to watch it. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, and that, I think, brings us right back to there is no plot, you know?
So, what exactly do you mean by that?
I just mean, like, there's not a lot of substance to the movie. So, like, we get no background on pretty much anything. We like... Do we even know why he's in jail?
Yeah, they did a heist.
I think they say...
I think they tried selling the tribal mask is what they said.
Yeah, okay.
They got caught with that.
So we get surface level as to why he's in jail. We just know he was caught in a heist. Okay. Caught in a heist. But we don't have we don't really have a lot of background with him and Julia Roberts' character. We don't really know a lot of background with any of these people, how they're related to each other. Like, we just have very general ideas. And that was something that I also, like, there was little to no character development. Like, I wish that, because at the end we have, like, a moment where it's, like, all of them are standing together and, like, watching the water, like, whatever, and watching the fountain, and, like, slowly, one by one, leaving. And I could tell that the point of the scene was to evoke some kind of, like, man, guys, we did this.
Yeah.
See y'all next time, you know, like, have fun with your lives. Okay, but I didn't get that because there was no, like, sense of camaraderie that, like, grew from these people. Like, I would have liked more scenes where they were interacting with each other and we were building some sort of friendship, camaraderie, if they saved each other a couple of times or something. But it really felt like, okay, these just, like, disjointed characters that I guess somehow know each other come together and pull this off, and now we're just supposed to be like, wow, these men, they did this together, a team. That's not what it felt like. It really felt like just business, which, okay.
You know, but that's what I like. It's like, at the end of the day, they're all, like, supposed to be professionals.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't really care about, like, trying to form these friendships. Like, besides Danny, or let me just say George Clooney and Brad Pitt, you know, they're friends, you know? But besides everyone else, is like, this is just a job for them, so they can get paid. Which, and they're not really trying to, like, interact with anyone. They're not trying to, like, be friendly of everyone. It's just like, they know Danny and they know George Clooney and Brad Pitt. And that's how they get pulled in, because they're like, okay, they want to do another heist.
Yeah. But, like, I think that, like, as characters, that's a character foundation. But for the movie, you got to have something else, especially if you're planning on ending it with a scene like that.
Yeah.
Because that means that your goal at some point was to establish some sort of camaraderie or, like, some sort of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like, some sort of bond that these people are leaving with or walking away with, like a mutual respect or something. And I just didn't really get that. I think that there's ways to play it where, like, okay, we're here to work together. But inherently, in any job, when you work with people, like, when the stakes are high and you work very closely together, inherently there is going to be some sort of bond that develops out of that. There's going to be some mistake that happens and somebody helps you, or somebody that you didn't think that you can trust, they end up saving you in some kind of way, or, like, just, like, little things. You start teasing each other or whatever, and then that eventually grows into, like, okay, well, I'm having a good time talking to you. Like, you need some of that, and that is a natural thing that occurs even if you are just coming together to work together. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. If you wanted it to just be business, like, for the sakes of the movie and these characters, that's fine, but then lean into that. If you're going to end with a scene where you want us to feel something for these characters and their bond, you needed to give me more of something throughout the film, because I didn't get it.
I feel like the only characters that really get like that is, like, George Clooney and Matt Damon's character.
Yeah.
Especially because he's, like,
I agree,
the kid of the group at this point, and they only brought him on because his dad basically recommended him. And so, even, like, when they're in the elevator, because it's like he's the only one he doesn't have, like, this work relationship for. And then he asks, well, you didn't trust me? He's like, well, I do now.
Right.
So,
yeah, I agree. And even then, I felt like that it still really wasn't that much. I would have liked to see more.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. I didn't think there was a lot of character development or, like, plot. They're also, like, again, the whole central point of the movie is George Clooney's character going after Julia Roberts' character.
Yes.
Like, that's, like, supposed to be what the whole entire heist and everything hinges on. And we just don't get a lot of that. We just really don't. Also, what was the conflict? Like, it wasn't like they ended up hitting, like, a big snag and they needed to get over it. Everything ran totally smooth, which is fine, but makes for a kind of monotonous movie, you know? Not that, and I use monotonous not to say that it was boring, because I didn't think that the movie was boring, but monotonous as in just single tone. There was no, like, oh, shoot, they're gonna mess up. We're gonna lose it. That never happened. It was almost too suave. The only time that happened was when the guy got his hand stuck. Mm-hmm. That was like 5 seconds, and then it was like, okay, we're fine. So, like, I wanted a little bit more of, like, suspense. Like you mentioned earlier, there wasn't a lot of suspense. So
yeah. You have, like, the Yin moment with his hand getting caught.
Yeah.
And you have the Matt Damon moment where he goes into the Institute and almost, like, gets caught there. You have these, like, very tiny moments. Yeah. When Saul gets caught out in the casino and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was part of, like, the heist, if that was, like, to make him...
No, it wasn't. Because they wouldn't have used his real name. I think that was actually, like...
Like, a person he knows.
See, but that's what I mean. That was supposed to be an obstacle of, like, they're gonna get... And, like, it didn't feel that way. You almost wonder if it's part of the heist because they didn't elevate the stakes enough, you know? Mm-hmm. It wasn't close enough. It wasn't that close of a call. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely what Roger was saying when he was like, you know, it's definitely you don't ever feel like they're not going to accomplish this.
Right.
Like you're saying. There's no, like, the levels are this high.
Yeah.
You know, it's like at any moment something can go wrong. But, yeah, I do think maybe, but... I think that's just what they're going for. They're going for that Rat Pack, you know, Frank Sinatra thing where they can just be very suave, walk in there, steal from this guy, and just walk out without having any kind of, like, you know, any thought that they weren't ever going to do it.
I guess. And, you know, and if that was the intent, then maybe it just has to do with the fact that what we expect from media has changed. Because now it's not so much about I just want to watch a movie about these men walking around and being suave. I want something more. I want to be more on the edge of my seat, or else I'm not that it wasn't boring. I enjoyed the movie, but I won't enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
The other thing too, again, with Julia Roberts, I wish that they gave her more. Her role was like, and like, again, kind of, and I keep bringing back James Bond because it's just in my brain, like that's a similar shtick, you know, casino, very suave, whatever. Of course he's going to pull it off because he's James Bond kind of thing. She felt kind of like a Bond girl where, like, quite literally all she did was stand there and look pretty. There was, like, no character growth. And I wouldn't call it growth. I'm really upset that they ended up together, I'm going to be honest. I didn't like that. Is
that why you looked at Beyonce on the side when she ran out there?
Yeah, and I was literally typed, no, Julia Roberts, let him go. But whatever. But again, and it's because him, and the group, you root for them because we know we're supposed to, right? This is the group that's pulling the fast one on whatever. Okay? Yeah. So you root for them. But, like, I wish that we had a reason to root for them other than, like, clearly these are the people that we're supposed to be rooting for. Like, I wanted some sort of, like, moral or emotional something that made me invested. I guess I was rooting for him, but I wasn't invested in the situation. I didn't, like, really want George Clooney to get the girl. I didn't really want these people to, like, pull it off. Like, I had no reason to really want that. I wish that it was either clear that some of these people really needed this money, or that it was clear that guy was, like, a jerk. We didn't even see that. He was kind of nice to Julia Roberts. Like, he wasn't rude.
Well, he said he'd trade off.
At the very, very end.
Well, but I think that's, like, the whole point that George Clooney is, like, trying to get to. Because when he first started, he's like, look, you could be of anyone else. But it's don't be of him.
But I wish that there was more. I wish that we felt that way, too. And that we believed him. Because I wish that then, what was the bad guy's name? Terry? I wish that he, like, he was nice to Julia, and then, like, we saw him do something really crappy to, like, a waiter or whatever. But, like, he walks in and he knows, and, like, maybe it's because of his, maybe it's just because he wants to protect his money, this and that, whatever. But, like, when you're watching TV, your brain isn't always wanting to dig that deep. So, like, he walks in, and one of the first things that we see him do is we are introduced to him knowing he knows every single person in the casino's name, and he asks about their kids. Like, they set him off as, like, a pretty okay guy, you know what I mean? Like, he's, they say a quarter of a billionaire or whatever, but he knows everyone's name. He's involved with everything almost personally, and whether or not you want to say that's just because he's keeping his money tied to his chest, that's still pretty, like, that's an okay guy, you know what I mean? He's kind of Julia Roberts. I don't know. I wish that I wish we didn't like him.
I feel like it was more playing into the fact of even putting that into the audience's face, right? That he's like this good guy.
Yeah.
But then like it goes to what George Clooney is saying is like he's not actually a good guy. Good guys don't, take someone into the back room to have him beat up and all this. Or I think it's like this whole he's a two-faced kind of thing. He likes to, because even they set off at the very beginning. It's like he doesn't just kill you. He was like he's gonna ruin your entire life.
I guess. See, and you like bring things up, and it's like, okay, yes, you know what, you're right. But then that to me is just like they didn't hit those points hard enough. You know what I mean? It didn't like really the action didn't.
They're very like quick moments, and I feel like it just wants to like hit him without like going overboard with like how he's an evil kind of guy.
But I think that it was not having the action mirror or back up the writing. The writing can get lost really quickly. If you say something, and just like in real life, if you say something to me about somebody, but their actions are not mirroring that, it's not going to stick in my head for very long. I'm either not going to trust you, or I'm going to forget you said it, because that's not what I'm seeing. But like, you're going to solidify it if you say something about this guy, and then I see him do something crappy. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I wish that there was more. It was just, again, and it comes back to like there weren't a lot of facets of this film for your brain to explore. It was like, okay, they're just going to kind of feed it to you, and they expect you to just kind of take that and keep going with it. You know what I mean?
I could definitely see where
my
you're coming
brain
from.
wasn't titillated.
Wasn't getting massaged enough while
watching. Yeah, it wasn't.
So again, going back to The Longest Yard that we talked about one time, and Mr. Roger said, it's a good movie, but not something you'll be talking about in 3 weeks. This movie, would you talk about it in 3 weeks, or is it just one like, it was good, it was fine?
No, I give it more than The Longest Yard, because I think the Longest Yard, in a few weeks, I forgot that I saw the movie. I forgot like the fine details of the movie, But this like is something that I will add to like my film repertoire. Oh, like I think that I would like reference it. I would talk about it. Like if a relevant situation
you'd see the
came
sequels?
Up. Yeah, I would see the sequels. So I give it more than that. I also think that just because these movies, the ocean movies generally, have kind of weaved their way into like society a little bit, so I hear them referenced. I hear the ocean movies referenced. I never hear The Longest Yard referenced, but I hear Ocean's whatever
You're not
referenced.
Near a lot of Adam Sandler fans. That's all it is.
No, I try to keep my distance. But yeah, so I give it more than that. Okay, wait, I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you could add, because they kind of have like whether or not Matt Damon was like in a certain, maybe he was still up and coming, but it is like a lightly star-studded cast,
Definitely is,
star sprinkled. What if you could have added somebody to this movie? Who would you have added?
Chris Tucker.
That was such a fast answer.
Yeah.
Why?
I think during this time, Chris Tucker is just hilarious.
Me looking up Chris Tucker.
And I love Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
Like if I was to take someone out and replace him, I would replace like Bernie Mac with Chris Tucker.
Okay. What if would you still just add him? If you
I also would just add him. I mean, if you could just like put him in somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I think Chris Tucker from Friday, Fifth Element, Rush Hour is just like, wow, he's on top of his game. He could easily just fit in here of these guys and just be also that suave. But even add a little more comedy to it with his type of character.
And Bernie Mac is funny, but he wasn't really... I know. Didn't play... There wasn't a lot of comedic relief in this movie either.
I definitely... Maybe I'm thinking of like the other movies. Because I think he passes away in 2008 or 2009. But yeah, I was like, I could have swore Bernie Mac was in this movie more.
Yeah.
And like he's in the opening scene. He's got they sprinkle a little bit of him in the middle, like during the actual heist.
Yeah. And seeing like that's again, I feel like a missed opportunity. They could have like broken the monotonous tone of the movie a little bit by having one of the distractions be Bernie Mac doing something hilarious to like, and he's fumbling around, and that's how, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say fumbling around. Bernie Mac never like fumbles.
Well, but I mean, he could have done something funny, like as like a dealer or something. He could have been causing a deal there that causes distraction, but he's being funny. He's making the audience laugh, and that would have broken up some of the movie. It would have given you a second to like breathe, but they never. It felt like we didn't use a gem. We had him. He was right there.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Even like the brothers, like even they're going around constantly fighting each other, bickering and changing outfits. It's never like giving them a moment.
Yeah.
No one ever has like, besides the like moments you see them introduced.
Yeah.
There is no more moments.
Yeah. I think their comedy moment was because they're supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
That's like, you can tell like every now and then they have like a really fast moment where it's like, okay, I understand they're supposed to be funny, but like not long enough for me to like actually laugh. Like the balloons, when they lose a balloon, that was supposed to be a moment, and I don't feel like we took full advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just one of those things that maybe just early 2000s had a time with of like contractually trying to give each actor enough time on screen and all this. So I think they do it way better like nowadays, especially when you have these giant casts of people. Also,
to be fair, if this movie was made today, it would be a longer movie. I think you said, how long is the runtime? You said like an hour 45, something like that?
Hour 50, maybe.
Okay, yeah. If this movie was made today, this would be a longer movie.
Yeah.
And so we'd also get some more of those elements. So like we're also discounting the fact that just movies weren't as long as they are today. So there isn't as much time for character development.
Which I'm perfectly fine with sometimes. I don't need over 2 hour movies all the time. This is like right on the edge of a 2 hour movie. Yeah. But it's like once you get the 220 and 230.
Oh yeah. It's like, to me, like dramatic movies, suspenseful movies, that kind of stuff, that's where you need like 2 hours of material, anything that's like 2.5 hours, that to me is like, that's an epic movie, right? That's something where you have to be able to hold my attention for that long. 2.5 hours or longer.
It has to be really good.
Yeah.
Like the Batman's 3 hours long. It didn't feel like that to me. And
is that the new one?
Yeah, the one we saw.
I felt like that movie lasted forever. I'm just not a big superhero person. Exactly, but I felt like that movie lasted I thought that movie was going to end like 10 different times, and then another scene started.
Well, and then on the other hand of that, The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio, that's also like a 3 hour movie.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Like, I saw it on a plane, and maybe it was just because of the plane, but I was just like, I was so over long. It. I was just like,
That's fair. And see, anything under 2 hours that's the sweet spot for a lot of comedies. That's where like just like easy viewing, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's like rom-coms to me. A rom-com should never be 2 hours. Should never be 2 hours. A rom-com should be an hour and a half, an hour 45. That's the sweet spot for there, because we don't need a lot of the extra stuff. I just need funny and banter. That's all I need, and I'm happy.
And I definitely think this movie was like in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Just didn't hit it right. And I think Ocean's 12 does it better. Okay. If anything.
Good to know. See, and I've seen Ocean's 8, so I'm not going to like give anything away because I might make you watch it. But like, and now, to be fair, Ocean's 8 was made a lot more recently than this movie. But Ocean's 8 to me held my attention more and gave my brain more things to be thinking about. My brain was more engaged. Interesting. So yeah, I would. Anyway, back to the person we would put in there. I would put Matthew McConaughey in this movie.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, mostly because I would put Matthew McConaughey in every movie. But especially 2001 Matthew McConaughey. A moment.
A moment?
A moment.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey belongs in this movie. I would just add him. Yeah. I just think that he could enhance
Let's
the
say
movie.
You had to replace
George
someone.
Clooney.
George Clooney?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not a George Clooney girl.
But to me, I just feel Matthew McConaughey's too young at that point then.
At 2001, what is he in 2001? This is around, let me see.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That didn't really help me very much.
I don't really. I think Fools Rush In, maybe.
He's not in Fool's Rush. That's
Fool's
Matthew
Gold.
Perry.
Sorry.
I want Matthew Perry in this movie.
Okay, well, now we're just making things up.
I want the Friends cast.
The Friends cast doing a heist. Let's see how that goes out.
That's what I was going to ask you too. Okay, of not just any movie or TV show, because I think that's too easy, but of a movie or TV show that you watch, that you like, what cast do you think would have the easiest time pulling up a heist? Have the greatest chance of being successful?
Oh man, that's tough. Being successful in a TV show. I'm just gonna cheat, I guess, and say like The Walking Dead.
Ocean's 13.
Yeah, Ocean's 13 the movie is the TV show.
That's not cheating.
Okay, cool. Then like
why
The Walking Dead,
why?
Well, because they already have to deal with I mean, who knows? Maybe if they'd be good because they're always like kind of running and gunning.
Yeah.
But I think they'd be able to pull it off at least.
Yeah.
I think they have enough coordination.
That's fair.
If we're talking like season 1 Walking Dead's cast.
Yeah, I think Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds?
Yeah.
Wow, that's definitely cheating. Because
that's not cheating. That's
real
just
detectives.
Being strategic. I'm asking you a question that I would like a legitimate answer for.
Never mind. Star Trek The Next Generation. They just beam down, beam up.
New girl, beam down, beam up. Oh my gosh, you're so annoying. I don't want to do this podcast anymore. Okay, 2001, Matthew McConaughey is in The Wedding Planner. He's not. Yeah. I don't think he's too young. 2003 is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Look how babyface he is.
So?
I'm just saying.
He's like probably around the same age as Brad Pitt is at this time.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Well, Brad Pitt's not the face, You said you were replacing George Clooney.
Yeah, well, George Clooney can go away. I'm not a George Clooney girl.
Okay, well, I had asked you before the movie, since you did it before.
Yes.
Who was your...
Since you did it before, all I did was say Burt Reynolds in this movie is attractive.
And he was also 69 at the time, so...
Well, I gotta give it to the guy.
What about this movie? Who are you picking?
Okay, not George Clooney.
That's my pick. So.
I really?
Yeah.
I don't know the hold that he has. You know what? I literally wrote down, I think George Clooney's voice is hotter than his face is. He has a nice voice. But I don't know, there's something, I mean, he's not unattractive. There's no piece of me that thinks that he's unattractive. Mm-hmm. But I just don't think he's like at that level that he's held at sometimes.
That's fascinating.
But I will say, and I said it during the movie, when he's all roughed up in that room, that's the best he looks at that whole movie. I'll give George Clooney points there. But I think it's because I don't really like, I don't like very polished men. I don't like.
That's why you're like Burt Reynolds, prison mustache, a little older, roughed up, in D block.
He's well put together in that movie. Yes. I mean, he's just a little scruffy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're scruffy,
yeah. See, I can't do the I'm not, I don't know. That doesn't do it for me. So.
Yeah, you don't like this whole, polished up.
I don't.
Suit wearing, walking around.
No, I need scruffy. I need a little rough around the edges, So yeah. So not see, but that makes this movie difficult because they're all supposed to be suave. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Besides,
so also Brad Pitt,
Scott Conn.
I know, and you know what? I think he was the most attractive in this movie.
Right,
but also that I think that's partially because he will always be Dano in my brain, and I love Dano. So that's all I can really say on that front. I wrote, I want to go to Vegas, sad face. But this was very timely for you because you're about to go to Vegas.
I am about to go to Vegas.
That's really exciting.
I'll go also take a picture in front of the Bellagio.
Good. In the vault?
Going up. Oh yeah, I'll see if I get that in the vault. I'll ask him.
Do you gamble?
For my podcast.
Do you like casinos?
I
don't really like gambling. I like playing poker. But I'm not like a gambler. Like I don't really go to casinos. I like the environment of casinos, but I don't actually want to gamble. I like playing the little slots, but not for a lot of money.
I like the sense of gambling. Yeah. I don't know why.
That's okay. I guess I just don't want to lose real money. If I was just playing with chips, I enjoy the feeling of you're betting and this and that, whatever. But I'm gonna be sad if I don't feel the need to do it. I guess that's it.
You're at the casino table, right? Just, throwing your chips away because you're like, haha, they're
Yes!
chips.
These are just chips.
And then you're like, you have a Rachel moment. And you're like, wait, this is actual money.
I'm not gonna comment on that because it's gonna give something away.
Oh, did they play poker?
I don't want to talk to you. But there was a big casino that opened up in Ohio. Within the past 10 years.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just like in the past 10 years. And I would go every now and then, and they had a little like diner in there with like diner burgers. That's one of my weaknesses.
Diner burgers.
I love diner food. It's so good. So I would show up and I would have like, okay, I'm gonna play with $10, and then if I lose the $10, I'm done. Yeah. So like that's what I'll do. Like I'll have a fun time with the $10, but I will like limit myself to a very small amount because I'm gonna have a bad time if I lose a lot of money. So I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna spend $10 or $20 or whatever, and I'll just play. I would literally just play until I was up $7 because $7 was the price of a cheeseburger.
So I'm just paying for a cheeseburger.
I just wanted to play to get a free cheeseburger, and once I got that, I was out, and I would go get my cheeseburger, and that was a good day at the casino.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
All right, so get $50. We'll drive up to Oklahoma or
50?
Louisiana.
Did you not hear me say 10?
Well, yeah, but now
Did you not hear me say I have $10?
We're up in the money, We'll go to Oklahoma or Louisiana.
If you guys want to fund us, we're gonna start a GoFundMe so that we can go gamble. It's research for the podcast.
Yeah, we're researching for the podcast. Let us gamble your money away.
Oh my gosh.
And then we'll hopefully pull off an Ocean's heist on the bank at the same time.
Yeah, we probably will. I think that we could do it. If I could make the Ocean's cast, though, like who I would just like to watch in a movie like this.
Yeah, can you name 11 actors to pull this off?
Can you name 11 actors? No. I want to see Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
I want to see Woody Harrelson.
Okay, interesting. I'm just saying interesting.
Okay. Woody Harrelson. I think also I would like to see Michael Caine.
Okay.
Who else do I want to see? I'm having fun with this question now. Let me think. I posed this question and I wasn't prepared to answer the question.
You want me to take over while you keep your three on you? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll say Woody Harrelson also.
Okay.
I didn't think of him, but then you said his name, so I was like, I'll take Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for 6.
Michael Cera?
Michael's no. I'll also do Michael Caine because that was a good pick. Also,
Thank you.
I feel like you need like an older person.
Yeah.
Christian Bale is the next person I'll say.
Okay.
Elijah Wood.
I could see Christian Bale. Elijah Wood.
And Daniel Radcliffe. I think
Daniel Radcliffe.
them two. Like if we're like they work together, something like that.
Yeah. I could give that to you. That could make for some interesting moments.
And then Samuel Jackson. So that'll be my 6.
I'll give that to you. I want Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
Ooh, Melissa McCarthy. I think she could be funny.
Okay.
I think that she could make a lot of really funny things happen. I love her. Jude Law.
And Jude Law. Is that your 6 or are you gonna go more?
I'd like to hold for now.
You like to hold? Okay. It's like blackjack. I'm gonna hold on 6.
I'll say please. Do you have any closing thoughts?
No. Do you have any what's your rating? What's your closing rating?
Ooh, okay. Out of 10?
Yeah. 5,
Huh?
5. It's usually 5 stars.
No, I would like to do 10 because I need
we'll
more
do
options.
IMDb for score. You can also do decimals if you want.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Well, I had that in mind. I give it like a 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'd give it like a. Yeah, no, a 7. Maybe like a 6.8.
That's basically what I would give it, which is like a 4 if we're doing out of 5.
Oh, okay. See, that's the problem. 4 is too high for me on the 5 scale. If I was doing 5 scale, it'd be like a 3.5.
Okay. I mean, I gave Longest Yard a 3.5, and I think this is
that's kind of crazy.
I don't know.
That's calling that judgment into question, I think. Okay. Well, everyone, thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Clued and Clueless.
You look lost for a second.
Well, it's because I remembered I'm going to have to give the socials out, and I always have to scramble for my phone.
So I'll plug myself, and I'll plug you while you just look around. If you want to follow me on Instagram for whatever reason, you can go to... at MER_RIO. That's Mario. And you can follow Kristen on Instagram as at Kristen Hosty, which is KRISTENHOSTY. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's Clued_Clueless. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, that's Clued and Clueless Podcast. Mm-hmm. See, don't worry,
That's what he said.
What's if you're watching us live right now, or not live,
if you're tuning in live
right now, please.
That's incredible.
Please also tell me, because how do you do that? If you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're just listening to us on Spotify, but also want to watch us on YouTube and see Kristen freaking out right there looking for her phone.
I can't find it. I don't know where it is.
You can go to Clued_and_clueless, youtube.com/ Clued_and_clueless. And you can see us on YouTube and watch us in video form. Mm-hmm. And a cool little thing that we have going on, if you ever want to send us questions, either about the movie or just
movie recommendations.
Yeah, or
TV show recommendations, whatever
it might be. Maybe we'll do an episode where we're both completely clueless.
Oh, that would be kind of fun.
A sick movie recommendation I'll have. You can email us at Clued, CLUED, at cluedandclueless.com.
Thanks, guys.
Anything else?
We'll see you next week.
Awesome. We hit our talking points, so we hit our socials. So give us a review, give us a like, comment, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.